So the museum has been here since 1985, and it's here in Fort Pierce at this location because the NCDU, the Navy Combat Demolition Unit guys, started their training here. They're the precursors to the UDT underwater demolition teams and the Navy SEALs. So all the training began for World War II, 1943. They started the training here so that they would get ready to go and on the invasion of Germany in June of 1944. That was the NCDU guys that made that first initial launch into Normandy. So we're running about 75,000 visitors a year. Rick Kaiser, the director, he's Master Chief retired SEAL, as I am, retired Master Chief as well. We've been here 5-6 years, have done a lot to the museum, a lot of upgrades. We put millions of dollars in it to make it a very significant and important place to come and see the history of the Navy SEALs. We're situated here on 4 acres on the museum and in about 18,000 square foot of building space. And you can see all the history and the heritage right here of the Navy SEALs from 1943 to current. We have NCDU units, all what they've done. We've had what the UDT guys have done, underwater demolition teams, and we also have Navy SEAL exhibits and the things that the guys are using in combat today. Everything here at the museum was either used in training or used in combat. There is no replicas. It's exactly what you see is what the guys are using today. We have really 3 tiers to the museum. We have the museum, which is dedicated to the history and heritage of the Navy SEALs, and we also have behind me our memorial, which has 300 names, over 300 names right now, of every SEAL that has been killed either in training or in combat. Now, only 300 names doesn't sound like a lot, but you got to keep in mind, since 1943, there's only been about 15,000 SEALs ever produced. So when you lose one, it's very important. Obviously, tragedy, of course, but there's a lot of training, time, and effort that goes in to make that Navy SEAL. So to lose 300 of those is very significant. We also have a respite house for our Gold Star families and our guys that have been out fighting the war to come and rest and relax. And we also have a scholarship program for the SOF children, Special Operation Forces children, and we donate about $100,000 a year to that cause. So here we have a couple of our artifacts. We have the 9-boat SDV SEAL delivery vehicle to my left here behind me, which is no longer in service. I divested out of that. They no longer use that one. But this is what we call the 8-boat, which they do use currently. It's still in use today, as in 2019. They've been using this since the Vietnam era. Was when they first used these. This will take usually 4, maximum of 6 operators to a mission site. They'll go underwater, obviously. It's a wet boat, so it's flooded. And it comes off of a major submarine off the dry deck shelter depicted here. It's inside the dry deck shelter. They go to location. They launch out and do their mission. They bottom out. The guys get out and swim to whatever they're going to do, go over the beach and do whatever they're going to do, come back, get back in the SDV and go back to mother submarine. It's a very, very technical mission, but the guys do it very well. Very, very tough mission for the guys. Okay, well here we have 2 more of our artifacts. We have the HSACs, high-speed assault boats. The one to my right here is an older model. It's a probably late 80s model, air deliverable. Get the guys to a mission site very quickly. They could launch it out of an airplane, a C-17, and the guys could parachute out and with it and go to the mission site, whatever they're doing. The boat to my left here is a newer version of the same boat. but just a newer version. It has the same capability, air deliverable, and to get to a mission site very quickly, so the guys could get to crisis quickly and take care of the thing. They could put 8, 12 guys on this boat. 2 boats they could deliver. That's 24 guys to mission site and to take care of any issues that may come up. They have weapon mounts on the boats, but generally that's just for self-defense. They really don't get into any type of conflict with the boat if they can help it. It's more to just go in and get the guys to location so the guys can, the SEALs can go in and take care of whatever the crisis may be. Now we're aboard the Mark V, and as you can see, we've taken some of the seats out to make it more conducive to moving around, but it had 16 seats, so they could take 16 SEALs on these. They're like race car driver seats. They're on shock absorbers. The guys would strap in, so because sometimes the seas can get very rough, but they can take a platoon of SEALs to the crisis site. The SWIC guys would man the boat up here. They would be the navigator, the pilot, the drivers, all that. And we had a communicator that would get them to the crisis site very quickly. Well, it was used worldwide, but they particularly used it on the Euphrates up and down in Iraq because they found they could avoid the IEDs, the improvised explosive devices, that the enemy was using on the roads. So they could get the SEALs up and down to the points that they needed without that problem. So it was very, very useful for that. Top speed's classified, but it would be about 50 miles per hour. It's a big jet boat, actually, 2 engines, about 2,400 horsepower. Burns a lot of gas, but they would fly gas in and drop it in the ocean so the guys could fill up and continue. But 3 or 4 days, obviously, on this was probably about the endurance of this, because there's no restroom, there's no place to eat. You had to eat MREs, so that was one of the problems with the boat. Obviously, is that human endurance on how long you could go and stay out to do the mission. Well, this is a recent add to the museum. This is the Button. This was a prototype, one of 3 or 4 that was built. SDV, the SEAL delivery vehicles. This is a dry boat. Therefore, the endurance is greater for the guys to be able to go and do their missions. They would have a pilot and navigator, submariners, and they would have 4 SEALs aboard that could go to a location, and they could actually lock out of this, getting out, and then they could lock back in, get back inside it, de-water it, that area, and they would, so obviously much more endurance for the guys, because it's what they call a dry boat. Okay, well, we're inside our 9/11 gallery. This is our most current exhibit gallery, and behind me, right here to my left, is the lifeboat from the MAERSK, Alabama. If you recall, Captain Phillips, 2009, the SEALs went in and rescued him from the pirates, which was a great success, a great mission. To my right, we have the Black Hawk, the prime mover for the Navy SEALs. The TF-160s guys fly this. Army guys, great pilots, some of the greatest, probably the greatest pilots in the world, fly this thing at night, all kinds of weather. So the guys love to fly in the Black Hawk because they know they're going to get where they need to be when they need to be there. So this is a fantastic exhibit here to see a Black Hawk right here in the museum. Here we have a DPV, a Desert Patrol Vehicle used in Iraq during the first Gulf War. And behind me we have the HiLux, and you can see the motorcycle. So the HiLux was used in Afghanistan along with the motorcycle. A HiLux is very indigenous to Afghanistan. There's lots of them. So at night when the guys come up to a compound in a HiLux, they're likely not to be, the enemy is not likely to be as upset or on edge because it's a HiLux, maybe it's one of their buddies or whatever coming to visit. But, well, guess who it is? Navy SEAL is coming to pay them a visit for sure. And the motorcycle was used for squirters, the guys that squirted out of the compound, because that may be the guy you're after. That might be the leader. It might be the guy using IEDs, the maker, and you want to make sure you capture him. So that's what they would use that for. So that's really just a quick snapshot of what we have here at the National Navy UDT-SEAL Museum. We invite all of you to please come and see us. We're open year-round. Go on our website, NavySEALmuseum.com, to look at what we have to offer as far as dates that we may be closed or something like that, special events that we have throughout the year. So please come and see us by all means. Thank you.